China has been making headlines with its ambitious efforts to combat desertification. The country is home to 12 major deserts, covering more than a quarter of its land area. These deserts have developed naturally over thousands to millions of years. But instead of simply waiting for the desertification process to continue, China has turned the situation around using cutting-edge technology. The nation is actively removing billions of tons of sand from its deserts to tackle environmental issues and transform these barren lands into more productive areas. In today's video, let's explore how China has managed to use advanced techniques and innovations to fight back against desertification, utilizing both modern technology and large-scale ecological projects. We will also look at how the country has managed to reclaim vast stretches of desert land, providing a model for the rest of the world in the battle against climate change. China has stunned the world with its ambitious project in the Taklamakan Desert. This desert, the largest in China and the 10th largest in the world, spans 1,000 kilometers in length and 400 kilometers in width, with shifting sand dunes that can reach up to 300 meters high. Despite extreme temperatures reaching up to 67.2 degrees Celsius in summer and dropping below -2 degrees Celsius in winter, China has successfully completed a remarkable feat, building an 825 kilometers railway through the heart of this harsh desert. Completed on September 27, 2021, the Huaodian-Ruokong Railway includes 119 bridges, allowing safe transportation through an area prone to violent sandstorms. This project is part of China's broader effort to transform one of the most inhospitable places on Earth into a functional transport route, showcasing the country's technological prowess and determination to bring life back to a desert once considered a dead land. To ensure safe travel in areas prone to sandstorms, nearly 220 bridges have been constructed along the 825 kilometers railway that crosses the Taklamakan Desert. Additionally, about 50 million cubic meters of grass nets and 13 million saplings have been planted along the tracks to combat desertification. Furthermore, China has successfully built the Tarim Desert Expressway, the largest highway constructed through a desert, running through the Taklamakan Desert in Xinjiang Autonomous Region. This highway is a remarkable engineering achievement. To prevent sand from burying the highway, engineers have developed a vast green belt on both sides of the road with drip irrigation systems that help the vegetation grow in the scorching heat. To maintain this enormous infrastructure, the Chinese government has employed a large workforce. Every 4 kilometers, a small blue house is provided for 2 workers, who stay for up to 2 years to monitor and maintain the irrigation systems along the highway. Since 2003, China has been planting approximately 2 million trees each year, building dozens of wells, and expanding the green belt to about 70 meters in width and 400 kilometers in length along the expressway to protect it from the desert. When China set out to build the 825 kilometers railway through the Taklamakan Desert, known as the Sea of Death, it left many in awe. The engineers used tons of paper to create the design for this monumental project. Taklamakan, a critical point along the ancient Silk Road, has always been a challenging area due to its harsh conditions. Water is essential for building such infrastructure, but the nearest water source was over 130 kilometers away. Additionally, once water was transported into the desert, the sand would quickly absorb it, making the task even harder. Despite these challenges, China was determined to build a railway to loop around this massive desert. The need for such a project was driven by strategic and economic goals, improving transportation across this vast, uninhabitable region, facilitating trade, and ensuring safe passage through an area prone to frequent sandstorms. The project was an ambitious endeavor, not only requiring advanced engineering and technology, but also a deep commitment to transforming one of the most inhospitable places on Earth into a functional transportation route. China's ambitious project to build the Huaodian-Ruokong Railway through the Taklamakan Desert, known as the Sea of Death, is a stunning feat of engineering. Due to the harsh environment, sandstorms frequently disrupt travel, isolating the southern regions of the desert. To overcome these challenges, the railway is designed to provide a safe and stable transport route. The engineers discovered that when the sand's water content is between 12 to 16% and compacted with heavy rollers, it forms a solid foundation. They then placed a mesh grid with 60 centimeters spacing over the ground to reinforce it. After multiple layers of compaction, the surface can withstand 150 kilopascals pressure, strong enough to support trains. However, the Taklamakan Desert, the second largest shifting desert in the world, presents ongoing challenges. Engineers had to account for moving sand dunes, which can shift at an average rate of 20 meters per year. To prevent sand accumulation, they built elevated bridges at locations where strong winds are most common, creating 49.7 kilometers of elevated track to protect the railway from sand. Additionally, to combat desertification and maintain the railway, China used grassed areas along the track, fixed with sand and stones to prevent shifting sand from undermining the infrastructure. The extreme heat and temperature fluctuations presented challenges for construction, requiring automated bulldozers and intelligent management systems to efficiently complete the project. Since 2003, China has planted 2 million trees annually to stabilize the land and has constructed dozens of wells and a green belt that extends 70 meters wide and 400 kilometers long along the highway. This innovative solution is a testament to China's engineering prowess and commitment to turning the harsh Taklamakan Desert into a functional transport route, boosting the local economy and ensuring safe passage. China's remarkable efforts to reclaim the Kabuki Desert have transformed it from a barren wasteland into a thriving area of agriculture and wildlife. Known as the 7th largest desert in China, Kabuki was once a place where people had to deal with constant sandstorms and harsh living conditions. However, in the 1960s and 1970s, China began a massive reforestation and desert reclamation project, building a 250 kilometers water channel from the Yellow River to irrigate this arid land. The challenges were immense, with giant sand dunes constantly shifting, threatening to swallow any infrastructure built. But with determination, China constructed a 100 kilometers highway to block the movement of these dunes and facilitate the transportation of materials and seedlings. As a result, by 2022, the height of the sand dunes had been reduced by half, and the reclaimed area of the desert had expanded to over 6,000 square kilometers, with 3,200 square kilometers of green cover. Through ongoing efforts, the vegetation cover in Kabuki increased from just 0.8% in 2000 to 15.7% in 2021. This has significantly reduced the frequency of sandstorms from 50 to 60 days a year to just 3 to 5 days, while annual rainfall has increased from below 70 millimeters to over 300 millimeters. The success of this project not only restored the local ecosystem, but also created jobs and improved the livelihoods of over 100,000 local people. Today, Kabuki is no longer a dead land but a thriving hub for agriculture, with crops like licorice being grown sustainably, and the desert has become a model for desert reclamation worldwide. China has achieved incredible feats in combating desertification, especially in the Yunnan Desert. This area, known for its relentless sandstorms, had once been home to fertile lands and thriving agriculture. However, in just 10 to 20 years, massive moving sand dunes closed in on the land, advancing by 500 meters and swallowing everything in their path. The desertification was exacerbated by strong winds from the northwest, carrying sand into the Yellow River, causing silt buildup and heightening flood risks. To fight this silent invasion, China turned to innovative solutions. The country developed an environmentally friendly technology, using biodegradable cloth sand barriers that not only prevent the sand from blowing, but also help create a solid base for vegetation to grow. These barriers work like self-dissolving medical stitches, making them harmless to the environment. With a bit of water and seeds, even barren land can start to bloom again. The country also pushed forward with large-scale renewable energy projects. In the Taklamakan Desert, once known as the Dead Sea, solar and wind farms now thrive, turning harsh sunlight into a valuable energy resource. For example, the Lapu County solar plant generates 200 megawatts of power, saving 110,000 tons of coal and cutting down 330,000 tons of CO2 emissions annually. The Great Wall Solar Power Project is another major initiative that spans 133 kilometers and is expected to produce 180 billion kilowatt-hours annually by 2030, enough to power millions of homes. These pioneering efforts in desert reclamation and green energy show how China has turned once deadly deserts into thriving, sustainable environments. Thank you to all the viewers of Explore the World for watching this video until the very end. If you have any suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments below so that Explore the World can take them into consideration. For now, goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you in the next exciting video.